Hi everyone. Am I audible to you guys? Huh? A lot of students, huh? So good afternoon. First of all, welcome to AdWorld Showdown. And I remember when I was of your age and we were also, we used to attend these kind of events. So the same feeling which we used to get, I can see it on your face also. So that's perfectly all right. And we'll keep it quick, we'll keep it sharp so that you have your lunch on time. Okay? So all set for the presentation? हाँ? क्या? उधर वाले नहीं बजा रहे, तो उनको ज़्यादा भूख लग रही है. So yes, we'll start with, like I said, she also said, my name is Vishesh Sharma and I'm here because I love to propagate an organic first ecosystem. And while we'll have a lot of points covered in the slide, and in case you have some doubts, we can have a question answer session. Still you want to discuss further, I'm available on LinkedIn, Vishesh SR. Okay? So we'll start. एक बार yes, no, whatever you want to say. Okay, perfect. So this is the topic which we'll be covering, organic growth, building a sustainable and scalable business ecosystem. Okay, this is the topic for the evening. Moving forward, the key points we'll cover. Why organic first? That's the basic concept everyone has कि organic ecosystem क्यों करना चाहिए हमें. So that's what we'll talk about first. Secondly, we'll talk about content marketing ecosystem. I'm sure आप लोगों में से भी बहुत सारे होंगे जो Instagram, YouTube पे influencers को follow करते होंगे या social पे करते होंगे, content marketing का नाम सुना होगा. So we'll touch upon this particular topic a bit, and then we'll move forward to strategic alliances. How different kind of alliances can help you in building that ecosystem which we are talking about. And then the next thing is product strategy. Though I'm not a product guy, but थोड़ा बहुत product के बारे में भी बात करेंगे so that you have some idea how this product strategy can actually help you in the entire ecosystem. उसके बाद influencer marketing. किस-किसने influencer marketing के बारे में नहीं सुना है वो हाथ खड़ा करो. अच्छा, सबने सुना है influencer marketing? कोई है यहाँ पे influencer बैठा हुआ है? Anyone who's an influencer, big, small, 5,000, 2,000, 2K followers on Insta, YouTube, anyone? अच्छा, कोई नहीं है क्या? चलो ठीक है, perfect. Then this is the best slide for you. Consumer insights, basically, whenever we talk about branding campaign, marketing campaign, this is a particular key point which I always harp on. And I'll give you a quick example also how we actually use this in our real life scenario. And then digital PR is one thing. Acha, we have a quiz also, so pay attention. इसके last में quiz है, जिसने उसका answer सही दिया उसको एक prize भी मिलेगा. So pay attention to the slides. Digital PR is what we'll be talking about. And उसके बाद एक केस स्टडी है, छोटा सा एक केस स्टडी आप लोगों के लिए लेके के आया हूँ. बिकॉज क्या होता है ना, जब हम कॉलेज में होते हैं, इनफैक्ट मैं भी जब था, तो जो हम लोगों ने पढ़ा होता है कॉलेज में और जो हम लोग एक्चुअल रियल वर्ल्ड में करते हैं, देयर इज अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस. दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव लर्नड, एटलीस्ट विद माय एक्सपीरियंस. एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू ब्रिंग टू यू गाइज, बिकॉज when I started out, I was in my second year. That's when I joined The Hindu as an intern. The Hindu is a newspaper. I'm sure all of you would have heard. And there was this particular product, Crocs footwear. किसी ने सुना Crocs footwear? Crocs का इंडिया में लॉन्च हो रहा था और मैं उस इवेंट पे था. And apparently some things happened and I created a scene there which my chief editor got to know. And he called me. I said, okay, चलो 2 महीने का internship है, 1 हफ्ते में खत्म होगा. He said, क्या नाम है तेरा? I said, sir, Vishesh Sharma. Zia sir, he was the chief editor for The Hindu at that point in time. He said, क्या करता है? I said, sir, intern हूँ यहाँ पे, mass comm कर रहा हूँ. So he said, चल ठीक है, जाके बैठ जा. Then I waited. HR आएगा, बोलेगा बैग उठाओ जाओ. शाम को HR आया, बोला ये आपका ऑफर लेटर है, and next month onwards you will be made permanent employee for the company. So that's how we'll talk about those things as well. So yes, Sadhguru, कुछ लोगों ने सुना होगा, कुछ ने नहीं सुना होगा. He said, unless we go back to organic farming and save the soil, there's no future for our generations. इस कोट का PPT से कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. I just wanted to establish my eco-friendly credentials as well. क्या होता है ना कि जेनजी के चक्कर में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशर आ जाता है अब मार्केटियर्स के ऊपर कि सस्टेनेबल इको फ्रेंडली, सो ये बस उसके लिए फॉर्मेलिटी था. विल मूव क्विकली टू वाई ऑर्गेनिक फर्स्ट. ठीक है. सो ऑर्गेनिक इकोसिस्टम होता क्या है? एक्चुअली ऑर्गेनिक कुछ भी नहीं होता है, इट्स अ फास्ट. मुझे भी जब शुरू में बोला था ऑर्गेनिक ऑर्गेनिक, सब में पैसा देना पड़ता है. देयर इज नथिंग फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, देयर आर नो फ्री लंचेस इन लाइफ, बट स्टिल वी डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन ऑर्गेनिक एंड पेड. नहीं तो दो लोग कैसे हायर होंगे, एक परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग के लिए, एक ऑर्गेनिक इकोसिस्टम के लिए. ओके, सो विल फोकस ऑन ऑर्गेनिक इकोसिस्टम एंड please pay attention, not because I am presenting this to you, but because it's very important going forward. I'm sure आप लोगों ने सबने सुना होगा मीशो ने फायरिंग की, बायजू ने फायरिंग की. All of those people are getting fired. And why it's happening? Because margins are low for all these startups now because they're competing. In fact, margins है ही नहीं. 100 रुपए की चीज़ वो 80 रुपए में बेच रहा है, तो margins तो उसका है ही नहीं. They are just surviving on the money which is coming through venture capitalists, which is coming through private equities. In fact, the company I'm working currently, we raise funds for startups also. So Ola, Quicker, Swiggy, Rebel Foods, Rebel जिसका ये बहरोज बिरयानी और फासूस वगैरह ब्रांड है, we have raised the complete fundraise, funding for them so far. And recently we also raised for finance players. So anyways, the point is, अब उन लोगों के पास पैसा तो है नहीं ज़्यादा देने के लिए, तो जो परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग पे पहले खर्चा होता था कि इस कॉस्ट पे आपको बिजनेस बिल्ड करना, वो सब खत्म है अब. नाउ those people who can actually give you an organic ecosystem, build an organic ecosystem for you, which is more sustainable, जिसको आप scale भी कर सकते हो, उसकी बहुत ज़्यादा importance होने वाली है. So since you are going to be in the market probably this year, next year, I don't know which grades you are in, so this is going to help you a lot. Like I said, performance marketing works on a गन्ना मॉडल, जिसको मैं गन्ना मॉडल बोलता हूँ. गन्ना समझते हो आप? शुगर केन. कभी शुगर केन का जूस देखा है निकलते हुए? परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग वैसा ही है, which is why though presently I head the entire marketing which also includes performance as well as organic, but I don't focus a lot on performance because क्या होता है, परफॉर्मेंस गन्ने जैसा है, जितना आप गन्ना डालोगे ना उतना जूस निकलेगा उसका. जिस दिन आपने गन्ना डालना बंद किया उस दिन जूस बंद. तो परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग भी ऐसा ही है, जिस दिन आपने स्पेंड खत्म कर दिया है, जिस दिन आपने बजट्स खत्म कर दिए, the business will go for a toss. उसके आगे आप डिलीवर नहीं कर पाओगे. But with organic you can actually deliver consistently. High intent customer. When you go for performance marketing, you get people on board who are sort of, okay, fine, we'll see, kind. Because somewhere the whole point is just to get leads. But with organic ecosystem, आपको एक हाई इंटेंट कस्टमर जो प्रॉब्ली अगर फिनटेक इकोसिस्टम है, I'll talk a lot about fintech ecosystem because that's what I've built and that's how, that's where I come from. So the point is, when you build any organic ecosystem, so the consumer you get is a very high intent guy who's actually willing to deal with you. That's the difference. Another thing is COA, CPA. हमारा इंडस्ट्री में बहुत यूज होता है, शायद आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, शायद नहीं सुना होगा. CO इज कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन, जिसको कॉस्ट पर अकाउंट भी बोलते हैं. जब आप ऑर्गेनिकली बिजनेस बनाते हो, ऑर्गेनिकली कंज्यूमर्स को ऑनबोर्ड करते हो, तो आपको सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट यही होता है कि आपका जो CO है, कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन है, वो अंडर कंट्रोल रहता है. लाइक आई सेड, विद थिन मार्जिन्स, दिस इज बिकमिंग अ वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल पॉइंट फॉर ऑल द बिजनेसेस अक्रॉस कंट्री. So yes, scale up is not an issue. With performance, suppose if you are acquiring 10,000 customer at a cost of 1,000 rupees each customer. Now if you have to double down on that, you need extra budget. But with organically, that's not an issue. You can focus on scaling up as much as possible once you have established the entire ecosystem in place. Now builds loyal audience base. That is also again a very, very important point. Because this guy who's engaging with you, you are not selling him something. मैं आपको कुछ बेच नहीं रहा हूँ, मैं आपके साथ engage कर रहा हूँ, मैं आपको empower कर रहा हूँ. And that's precisely the reason why Zerodha became Zerodha. Because I remember, 2011, I was at Dalal Street Investment, one of the leading magazine at that point in time for financial world. I told them let's do financial education because आप बात कर रहे हो आज एक कॉमन मैन से या जो इन्वेस्टर है फर्स्ट टाइमर है उसको आप बोल रहे हो भाई जिसका पीई अच्छा होगा ना वो स्टॉक में लेना अरे उसको पता ही नहीं है पीई क्या है you know but someone like Zerodha came into the scene and decoded everything for the market Varsity करके एक प्लेटफॉर्म उन लोगों ने बनाया था brilliant platform and because of that platform till date they have been leading the industry so you know that's a very you know it helps you build a loyal audience base आज जो Zerodha के साथ है वो किसी और के साथ जाता ही नहीं है now coming to content marketing you know content marketing I'm sure anyone who has not heard of the word content marketing अच्छा सबने सुना है fine so it makes my life easy so why content marketing why do you need to create content and not ads please understand the difference and keep it in your head because that is what you're going to be focusing on if you have to acquire customers. Nobody is watching ads anymore. आप Google पे कुछ टाइप करते हो सबसे पहले 2-3 ऊपर ads आता है आपको आप देखते भी नहीं हो शायद because you know that's nobody is focusing on ads. You know I want to consume content especially nowadays when the entire market is driven by Gen Z, millennials. You know they are eager to consume content because of social media, whatever reason you can call it, but content is the key, not ads. So that's why you need content marketing, you know, in place. Now, what do you mean by content marketing? क्या होता है content marketing? See, एक चीज होता है मैंने एक पोस्ट बनाया, हर जगह चला दिया. वो एक आपका पहला typical जो होता था, जिसको मैं social media या content. But now what is happening is because you have different platforms. You know, you have short reels, you have YouTube shorts, you have Insta, you have Snapchat, different platforms. So the idea is when you think of a content, think of different formats also. Can I create this same content in a video format? Can I create this content in a audio format also, podcast? Because I remember when we had started out building the content marketing ecosystem for Angel One, you know, उस टाइम पे angel broking हुआ करता था. That was the first thing we decided. We will not just create because शायद आपको पता होगा, आपको लगता होगा यार मुझे वीडियो देखना ज़्यादा पसंद है. But someone like me, I like to read. तो मुझे वो चीज़ पढ़ना पसंद है. Probably he would, prefer a podcast kind of a thing कि गाड़ी चलाते हुए सुन लिया. So the consumer is so demanding nowadays that you can't just focus on one format कि ये बनाया दे दिया और आप इसके हिसाब से देख लेना. So that is very important. Format, multiple format is the key. Not social but content first approach. जितनी agencies, sorry अगर यहाँ कोई agency वाला बैठा है तो, but जितनी agencies आती है वो आपको सिर्फ typical एक चीज़ सिखाती है सर social media strategy बनाएंगे. यार वो दिन चले गए. आज से 5 साल 6 साल पहले होता था कि आप सोशल मीडिया स्ट्रैटेजी बनाओगे. डू नॉट think of marketing, content marketing as a social media. Social media should only be a distribution platform for you. The core is the content first approach. Always think of content. कि अगर मैं नाइका जैसे ब्रांड के लिए कंटेंट क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ तो मुझे वो लिपस्टिक के बारे में क्या बोलना है. Think about that and then think ये कंटेंट कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म के लिए रिलेवेंट है, whether it's relevant for Instagram, whether it's relevant for Facebook. So always have that content first approach. That is a very, very crucial point which I want to harp on. Engagement and not leads, which is why we are CMOs and not CSOs, not Chief Sales Officer, because we don't sell, we engage with customer. The beauty about this digital ecosystem, पहले जब फिजिकल हुआ करता था ना तो उस टाइम पे क्या था कि आपका ब्रांच है, आप कस्टमर से मिले, अरे सर कैसे हैं, बढ़िया, भाभी जी कैसी हैं, क्या करेंगे क्या नहीं करेंगे बताइए, चलिए सर ले लीजिए ना, ट्राई कर लीजिए. That used to be the engagement. Now the whole ecosystem is digital. So again you have to engage with people. You can't just sell, you can't just show them ads. That's not going to work. That has not worked for any brand now. So you have to engage with people. Engage with them through different content formats. Engage with them in a language which they understand. Engage with them at a platform which they are comfortable with. That's the beauty about digital, and that's what would differentiate, And that's what I keep telling wherever I work. I tell them, see, there are दो तरीके हैं. या तो मैं बोलूँ कि भाई मैं देख ये दिखा रहा हूँ और ये तेरे को देखना है, बात खत्म. उसके लिए फिर मुझे एप्पल जैसा होना पड़ेगा. एप्पल, you know, Steve Jobs once said, I don't believe in research. And it's okay, perfectly, it worked for him. वो बोलता है मैं जैसा प्रोडक्ट बना दूंगा उसके लिए मार्केट क्रिएट कर दूंगा. Either you be in that zone. Unfortunately, a lot of us are not, which is why we have to work on the other approach. And what is that approach? कि boss, whatever the audience needs, I'm going to create that thing. Whether it's, you know, video, whether it's infographic, whether it's some, you know, case study, I'll work as per their requirement. You know, this is a more modest approach. This has worked for me. Probably you can try, or you can try Steve Jobs' approach also. Choice is yours. Now, this is a charkha model. ठीक है? ये I remember when Dinesh Bhai, who's the chairman for Angel One, who's the promoter chairman, when I met him for the first time, and he said, see, I understand what today's market wants. You know, people, now the maximum customer we are getting are Gen Z millennials from tier 2, tier 3, okay? And we understand that, you know, the entire digital ecosystem is going to be about content marketing. So, मुझे ज्ञान मत दो. If you can tell me in one single slide the entire ecosystem, you know, you have my trust. And whatever money you need, I'll give it to you. And that's when I had prepared this charkha model, okay? And let me tell you, for the first time, I'm showing this model at any public platform. Before this, I have not shown it to anyone. I just kept working on it, you know, and we have delivered. Because of this model, my team during this entire pandemic delivered 32 content marketing awards. You know, basis only this particular slide, what we had done. So quickly run you through, thank you so much. So I'll quickly run you through what this entire thing is. Focus on the 3 V's: vernacular, voice, and video. You know, these are the 3 V's which are going to be working for every brand. Vernacular, why vernacular? Because आज आपको मैं आपसे किसी एलियन लैंग्वेज में या रशियन लैंग्वेज में किसी probably you won't connect with me. I am connecting with you in a language which you are comfortable with. So someone who is sitting in Gorakhpur, someone who is sitting in Navsari, someone who is sitting in Udupi in Karnataka, someone, you know, in Nasik, Sangli, Satara, they would be more comfortable in the language which they speak and not in a prim proper English or Hindi for that matter. So which is why regional conversation is very important. Second is voice. I'm sure you would have Alexa and other platforms. Google is spending billions, spending like crazy on voice. So voice content is going to be the key. I remember, you know, we have our Ganpati every year, so we call for a Pandit from Banaras. This year I noticed one thing, that, you know, I asked him to search for something. And he, instead of typing, he said, Google, ye kaise milega? And I was shocked because I don't do that voice search, but a Pandit who's sitting in Banaras is actually using voice. So yeah, this is going to be the future. So as a budding marketer, focus on this. Video, it's a no-brainer. You know, studies suggest 90% of content is being consumed through video formats. So these are the 3. And then just keep certain basic guidelines, which I could think of. Probably you'll have your different. It has to be a shareable, discoverable, accessible, targeted content, conversational. So just when you think of format, think of these guidelines, and then comes the different formats. So you have infographics, you have videos, you have GIFs, reports, articles, factoids, newsletter, whatever format you can think of. And this entire thing goes through a filter. Because of course, whenever my content, you know, a consumer should see, they should be able to recognize, you know, about my brand, about the tonality. So which is why those filters, glossary, image, probably it's not, can you all see this, you know, text? Okay, perfect. So these filters are very important along with the platforms. So platforms, like I said, won't come before content. Content would come first, and the platforms would come later. Basis यार ये वाला content है ना, ये इस platform के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा relevant है. तो just because मेरे पास Facebook का access भी है, मैं उसको Facebook पे post नहीं करूँगा. As simple as that. Now coming to the brand pillars, you know, customer experience is the key now. You know, customer is very demanding. उनको सब अपने टिप पे चाहिए. They don't want any hassle. It's a very seamless. So this has to be a very, very key important pillar for you, whatever you think of. Millennials, like I said, is driving the market. There's no doubt about that. So be focused on serving the millennials. Business thought leadership. You know, Zerodha is known for Kamath. As simple as that. Kamath is the guy who's driving Zerodha. So you have to be, you know, more than the Tata Group, people respect Ratan Tata, Mr. Ratan Tata. So that thought leadership you have to build, and differentiated brand equity is very important. How you differentiate your brand's equity is also very important when you think of the entire thing. And here comes the different life cycles. Awareness stage, when the customer is just thinking of some particular product, yaar ye lena hai. So what kind of, probably you can, and then consideration, you know, you have to talk about different touch points. Then comes activation and the monetization. How you do this entire thing is basically on a hygiene, hub and hero content basis. So there's a content which you will create on a regular basis. Let's say SEO blog, you know, just to ensure कि यार मेरा website पे regular traffic आता रहे. Then probably there's a content which you will create, you know, on a more, which has a longer shelf life, let's say 6 months, which probably could be about how to use my app, you know. And then the third thing is hero content. Hero content is something which you will create probably once a year. वो आपको एकदम spike देगा, and with hub and hygiene you are going to maintain that momentum. फिर again उस पे एक hero content, वो एक और spike, फिर you know maintain the momentum. So that's how. But ultimately, whatever you do, this entire thing has to boil down to one thing, which is business outcome. See, दो डिपार्टमेंट होते हैं किसी भी कंपनी में, कॉस्ट सेंटर और रेवेन्यू सेंटर. जब भी इंपॉर्टेंस के तौर पे देखा जाता है ना, तो रेवेन्यू सेंटर को सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दी जाती है. बाकी कॉस्ट सेंटर को, यू नो, दे ठीक है यार, ये गुड टू हैव है, बट रेवेन्यू सेंटर इज मस्ट हैव. Fortunately, with content marketing, you can actually build yourself as a revenue center for the company, and you'll get much more importance as compared to a guy who's a cost center for the company. So always focus on, see, we are not creating any fancy content for award show or for that matter, you know, any film or anything for screening or something. Whatever we do as marketeer is to build business. If you work with that particular focus, यार मुझे ये achieve करना है, और उसके बाद आप करोगे उस campaign को, you know, everyone will appreciate it. I remember we created one campaign. There's this term Netflix and chill. सुना है सबने? So एक एजेंसी के साथ हम लोगों ने बात किया, उसको बोला यार इसके अराउंड कुछ करते हैं, because that's what the, you know, the buzzword is nowadays. Because I come from a fintech background, तो उसी के अराउंड हमें campaign करना था. So we launched a campaign, Save and Chill, okay? That was a campaign which we did, and the overall budget was about 2.5 lakh rupee, and it gave us 30,000 new customers with just 2.5 lakh rupee budget. So much so that after that we did another extension, Trade and Chill, which was for focus only on traders. And then around the budget time, we, you know, last quarter, we also did one more campaign, which also was focused on how many customers we can acquire. So always focus on the business outcome, and you'll have a good time. So yeah, strategic alliances. After content marketing, you spoke about strategic alliances. Strategic alliances is basically nothing. See, I can't deliver everything to everyone, okay? मेरे से as a brand, for example, I'm in a fintech ecosystem now. You know, everyone expects me to build a super app. But because of regulatory reasons, whatever XYZ, I can't deliver everything to everyone. You know, उसको चाहिए कि आप म्यूचुअल फंड भी दो, उसको चाहिए कि मेरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आप इक्विटी भी दो, क्रिप्टो भी दो, गोल्ड भी दो, टैक्स भी फाइल करो. सुपर ऐप का बेसिकली यही कॉन्सेप्ट होता है. So can I deliver everything through my platform? Probably yes, probably no. If not, then you build an entire ecosystem with those strategic partners. Now, one of those partners is your brands. Let's say someone like, a Nykaa, which is into cosmetics, majorly into cosmetics. If they have to tie up with different other brands, probably they'll have tie-ups with, makeup artists, salons, where probably they have some synergy. So it's a very, very beautiful relationship where they are also passing on customer to you, where you also, sending customers on their platform. So always have an eye on those kind of brands with which you can have a very interesting tie-up. Another is the ORBs, which are nothing but online reputation builders. This is a time which, this is a term which we coined at Angel, online reputation builders, because the idea is, समथिंग लाइक चित्तौड़गढ़ एक करके प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ पे आज की डेट में अगर किसी को आईपीओ के बारे में जानना होता है सबसे पहले वो चित्तौड़गढ़ प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाता है. So we said, okay, why not, why don't we create a partnership with them? We will create our IPO page on their website. Whatever, the deal, we will figure it out. And that's how and fortunately it has worked so brilliantly for us that we made a killing during Paytm IPO, though it's a different story what happened after that. And Zomato and other different IPOs. So the idea is you build and identify those online reputation builders who are nothing but influencers who already are getting traffic for your kind of audience, but you don't have a direct competition with them. Of course, you can't go around and Nykaa can't go around and have a partnership with Myntra. So you have to have those kind of synergies. Third is the institutions. So something like, let's say, we created a network around the colleges. The idea is you tap them young. Because जब मेरा insight मुझे बोलता है कि all the Gen Zs are coming in the market, तो सबसे ज़्यादा Gen Z मुझे कहाँ मिलेंगे? Colleges में मिलेंगे. It's a no-brainer. So why don't I just go to these colleges and tie up with this, probably sponsor an event, probably do some campaign with them. With IIT Bombay, I remember we did a fintech hackathon. So by doing these kind of events, we whatever the KPIs that obviously I won't talk about, but the idea is you have an ecosystem of brands, ORBs and institutions. And this is going to give you not only an ecosystem to serve your customer well, but also to acquire customer at practically zero cost. And like I said, it's a sustainable model. ये आपको one time करना है, but इसके जो effort मिलेंगे वो आपको बार बार मिलेंगे क्योंकि जो कॉलेज में स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो तो आते रहेंगे. Every year you will get new set of customer to target. So this is an ecosystem, strategic alliance which you should always have in mind while you cater to your brand. So yeah, now the I spoke about the product. No doubt, product marketing and product strategy is a very different ball game altogether. But what I want to talk about here is something very, very simple, which as a marketer we can always deliver and can, this is something which can help us, deliver the business KPIs, good results also. Let's say, मेरा एक financial app है, ठीक है? Something like Grow, ठीक है? अभी मैं ये product है. एक ऑप्शन मेरे पास ये है कि मैं सिर्फ इस प्रोडक्ट को बेचूंगा. I'll get app installs, I'll get customer acquisition, customers on board, activate customer and do business. Probably the other thing is I also launch an educational platform. When we launched Angel One, the new app, we also launched a new financial education platform, Smart Money. Okay, within the first year, it gave us more than 1 million registrations, which means 1 million registered users came on our platform just to read. Now, even if 10% is a very, very basic conversion ratio जो मैं पकड़ रहा हूँ, even if 10% of those 1 million, 1 lakh customer मुझे हर साल ऐसे मिल रहा है इस platform, which is a funnel for me. And this is going to be there. All I need to do is upgrade the content, that's all. And optimize it from an SEO point of view. बाकी काम वो platform अपने आप करता रहेगा. Second thing is, let's say I can also launch a tax filing platform because everyone who is earning, irrespective of age, caste, creed, he needs to file taxes, okay? Can I launch a separate tax filing platform? Probably yes. And I do that. It's a value add-on. It's not, I'm not going to charge, it's just a value add-on. People will come, probably I can do product placement of my financial app also there, and it will act as a wonderful funnel. Then in the educational platform, we can launch newsletters. YouTube can be a brilliant channel for us, to get, which is why, and let me also tell you one more thing. Right now, And going forward, please do not treat YouTube as a social media channel. It's not. It's not. I can prove it with the data. Unfortunately, I don't have that report here. But YouTube has become the second most search engine after Google across the world, not only in India, across the world. So YouTube can actually help you build business. All you need to do is identify right kind of audience and create right kind of video. Tax filing, like I said, probably calculator and advisors, network of advisors for people to basically consult. So just think of, this is just an example. Wherever you work going forward, just think of that particular ecosystem. Wherever, a brand is, how can I build an ecosystem of products for people to come and it's okay. They don't want to use my product, perfectly all right. I'll create a subset, probably that they can use, which will help them. And I'm not asking them anything, just use it, as simple as that. And I'll hope that, they get converted. Now the influencer marketing. That's another, though a lot of times, a lot of brands don't consider influencer marketing as an organic ecosystem because like, I'm sure you would know, people like Pranjal Kamra, Rachana Ranade, they charge a bomb to do a single video for you. Tanmay Bhatt, a bomb, 10 lakh, 15 lakh to do a single video. Okay, but does it help me? Probably yes, probably no. Because right now, a guy who's doing my video, tomorrow he'll go and do video for the other brand, who's my competition. आज वो मुझे अच्छा बोल रहा है, कल वो उसे अच्छा बोलेगा. So where's my credibility? It's a zero because people are smart nowadays. They understand, यार ये उसका brand promotion कर रहा है. It has nothing to do with this guy actually believing in the product. Which is why what we need to do is we need to identify and build those young influencers, probably who have a following of 2,000, 5,000. Identify those kind of followers and build a network of them. As a business head, I do not work with established influencers. I do not work with established agencies. For me, that has probably worked for, to keep my costs low because I try to identify the people who are at a very young, stage and then help them become big. The point being, they'll always be economical to you. अगर मुझे 10 लाख रचना रानडे को देने उससे बेटर है कि मैं किसी यंग इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का एक टीम बनाऊं और उन लोगों को मैं जो है क्या नाम है डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करूं अपना बजट एंड लेट देम build the business for me. Second thing is it will be exclusive. I don't want the influencer which I am using today going on to a different platform and talking about the other brand in a same tone, same voice, what he is doing to me now. Okay, because there's no exclusivity. And I prefer, personally also I believe there has to be exclusivity with people I work with. So these kind of influencers will give you that exclusivity. कि boss, ठीक है आप दूसरे सेक्टर में करो, but when it comes to cosmetics, you will only work with Nykaa. You won't work with any other brand. Bring that exclusivity. Third is episodic. यार biggest mistake a lot of brands do, एक वीडियो बनाया खत्म हुआ. But that's not how it works. In influencer marketing, you have to be consistent throughout. Make sure that you have episodic series. You have video after video harping on the same point. Why do you think, every video Sony or any other influencer say, every time they say, please subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Why? Because, the more you harp on a point, it gets established easily. Which is why when you think of influencer marketing, don't think of one video, two video, three video. Have that series, have that episodic series which will work for you in a better fashion. So yeah, influencer marketing is a key element when you think of building the entire ecosystem, because a lot of Gen Z millennials follow this influencer, whether on Insta or on YouTube. Now, moving, अच्छा, किसी को कुछ question अभी तक? We are sorted. Speed is okay because I'm trying to, sort of do, because you have lunch also after this. So yes, digital PR. When I took charge of PR department at Angel, there was one team, okay? We did some experiments for a quarter. Then we realized we'll break it into two. We'll have a traditional PR team which will cater to my typical objectives, which are those thought leadership, brand awareness, credibility, blah, 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 okay? We created a new team and it was called digital PR team. Because the idea is, in digital ecosystem, you can track everything. You can, do things purely from business point of view. You can build your brand's digital history, which will help the performance marketing team. I tell you a very interesting case. When we were doing this rebranding of from Angel Broking to Angel One, okay, I was presenting my PR plan to the management, and while I was doing it, the SOV, share of voice, which means how many coverages we'll get in the media. So I'd taken a target of 1,000 coverages purely through this campaign. My performance marketing head messaged me saying, Vishesh, can you do about 2,500 coverages? Because the point was, and his problem was, we were erasing the entire history of angel broking from the digital ecosystem. Angel One will be a new word altogether. So with any new word or any new brand keyword, the cost of acquisition in a performance marketing goes for a toss. Because now you have to bid from fresh. The system will take its own learning. Google का जो algo काम करता है, वो नया learning होगा, नए तरीके से काम करेगा वो. और उसका जो probably आज 5 रुपए cost of acquisition है, वो 50 रुपए suddenly hike करेगा, उसके लिए cost control करना difficult होगा. But if we are able to create that digital history quickly, which you can do only through digital PR, उसका problem solve हो जाता है. Okay? So I told him, I said, see, 2,500 probably is a bit too much. So I won't present it in my deck, but since you have said it, I'll keep it in my head and I'll talk to the team that we aim for 2,500. Let's see where we reach. And during that campaign, when we were changing the name from Angel Broking to Angel One, we delivered 4,700 SOVs and reached out to 678 districts out of the 720 odd districts in India. And because of that, so let's assume 6 रुपए उसका cost of acquisition था उस time पे, and जो उन्होंने present किया था management को performance marketing team ने कि 6 का 12 हो जाएगा, direct double cost of acquisition होगा. But because the digital PR team could actually deliver a very interesting combination in the digital ecosystem and create that history quickly, उसका जो 6 रुपए cost था वो सिर्फ 8 रुपए गया, which was still under control. So that kind of impact digital PR can have on your ecosystem. So never underestimate this bit. Like I said, build a digital history. That's a very, very important point. Second thing is lower CPA, which again I explained. Economical brand awareness. You know, if I do an ad या मैं एक hoarding लगाऊं, उसकी बजाय अगर मेरा CMD का कहीं interview आता है जहाँ पे वो ये बात करते हैं, okay? This will give me a better brand value, this will give me a better credibility than any hoarding on any page, any place, anywhere in a newspaper or publication. Please, and this I'm saying with all responsibility, any featured piece, any PR activity will give you a better mileage coverage than any paid ad in any publication. So that's kind of, importance we are talking about. Builds credibility, we spoke about this. Crisis management, again, what happens is, when something goes for a toss, as a PR head, you are suddenly called that probably the oil market has crashed and Zee News has run a report that, Angel is surrendering the commodity license. You can't wait for every other thing to work for your convenience except for the digital ecosystem. So what you do, you identify certain people, you identify the influencers in the digital PR space, talk to them. They can reach out to the people in a very, very, very swift manner, in a very sharp and seamless way, and your message get conveyed. So digital PR also helps you in managing this crisis. So when you're thinking of building an organic ecosystem, focus on digital PR as well. That's what, that's the point I want to harp on. Now consumer data platform, see this is very important slide because like I said in the beginning also, when I think of any campaign or when you should think of any campaign, keep the consumer at the core of it. Now what happens is the different ways and means of getting this information. GA also provides some information, plus there are other tools also. Now what happens is those tools probably, because as a content marketer, as a marketing guy, I'm not a tech guy, I'm not from marketing technology team. So probably for a newbie also, it gets very difficult to understand those kind of data insights, to learn from कि यार ये क्या इस data से मैं क्या समझूं, which is why we focus on having a very easy to use dashboard for the marketing team, which is something probably a layman can also understand. यार अगर 1000 लोग ये चीज कर रहे हैं, इस तरीके से कर रहे हैं, तो this is the insight I can take out, and basis this insight I can build my campaign. So that's the whole point of having those very easy data. So like I said, there are tools available, but mostly what we do is we create those easy to access, easy to use dashboards for decoding the entire algo, decoding the entire jargons basically. Effective content and distribution, so when you have an insight, it also helps you plan your content in a very easy way, and it can also help you distribute. When I know probably a case study kind of a thing, probably won't work on Facebook, won't work on Insta, but it will work brilliantly on LinkedIn. Then I'll just promote it on LinkedIn. I won't use any other platform. So these kind of dashboard also give me that access, they give me that confidence, that independence to identify which platform is working for which kind of content format. And that's when you plan the entire thing. Convenience of optimization. Probably, I'm running a campaign somewhere, on different platforms. Then I realize probably X platform is giving me better result than Y platform. So what I do, I take it out from X or Y and put the entire resources on X because it's giving me better results. So as a marketer, when you are doing this campaign, when you're building this system, you also focus on optimizing your campaigns. That is very important. You have to always focus on optimization of your efforts. That's going to give you results. Not just एक बार चला दिया छोड़ दिया होगा is not going to work in a digital ecosystem. Hassle-free campaign management. Someone asked me a question, I don't have to justify anything. Here's the data. Look at the data, you'll know for yourself. As simple as that. So this is whatever you do in the entire, again, not just organic but performance also, please keep consumer insight at the core of your campaigns. That is the approach as marketer we should have. Not just creative content but also insightful content is the key. So yeah, case study, here quickly some points which I want to. So normally when any product gets launched, it gets launched through big bang marketing campaigns. You plan, you call media agencies, they do media planning. सर 5 करोड़ का खर्चा करेंगे, इतना यहाँ डालेंगे, उतना यहाँ डालेंगे. We'll take ET का spot, we will take radio spots, we'll take that hoarding on ceiling and blah blah blah. Okay? And that's precisely what the branding team wanted to do when we launched Smart API. Smart API, basically the idea was when we had launched, I'll give you a quick background, and this is probably the last slide and then we'll quickly wrap up. So the idea was when we launched our IPO, a lot of media asked us, how will we fight with the fintechs, being a traditional broker? And that we took on our ego because we have always been digital. Angel was always digital, just that the definition of digital kept changing and we kept adapting to those definitions. But when someone says, how will you fight with a fintech like Zerodha or Grow for that matter, we realize that probably we need to build something basis the new definition. What the definition we have today for digital. So we came to a point that, okay, let's build an open API source platform which is going to be very useful for anyone who's looking to take those APIs and build, his or her own app. That's when we launched Smart API. It's a platform, simple platform. You go to register, free for all. You just have to register, and then it will give you those codes. Take those codes, build your apps, and trade, invest in stock market, do whatever you want to do. The entire campaign was launched purely through content marketing effort. There was no brand team, nothing was involved. Right from thinking of the name, right from the tagline, right from where all we will distribute this product, how we will communicate, content was the only thing we played on. And the results which we delivered was, there were, I think they said 6.5 million trades which we delivered with that particular product in the first year. 100 plus million requests, which means 100 plus million people actually registered on our platform within the first year. This is the first year data which I'm talking of. And we deliver over 500 million in revenue. These are the kind of numbers we delivered for Smart API purely through our content marketing effort. So, just to build a point that marketing, how we think, how we perceive, probably is not the same anymore. Right now, it's become a guerrilla warfare. It's become a guerrilla. It's not a full-fledged war. Imagine the same is happening with Russia. They're trying to fight a full-fledged war, and they're losing it. Guerrilla warfare is the key. You identify those small audience segments. You identify those small content pain points. You identify those small KPIs and build onto them, harp onto them day in, day out. And that's how you build the entire organic ecosystem. So yeah, that's my time. Thank you. Anyone has a question, query, probably can ask. Yes,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I am Arpit Mishra from first year, and as you're working with Angel One, so I have a question that how will you make Zerodha irrelevant?
No, I was working for Angel One. I'm working for Ashika now. But yeah, so your question, how will we
make Zerodha irrelevant?
Why would we make Zerodha irrelevant? Zerodha is someone who has taught us how to do business, not just us, the entire industry. And we respect them for what they have done in the industry. And trust me, the way they have democratized, see, probably from outside, it will look that, there's massive competition, sab brands ek dusre ka gala, bas aisa nahi hai. When I met Kamath in Bangalore sometime back, Nitin Kamath, and I was trying to introduce myself, he said, "Arey, no, I've been tracking your work, you've been doing brilliantly." So that's the kind of respect we have for each other. So we don't want to make them irrelevant. Monopoly is not right for any business or any sector, So which is why the point is, you learn from them what are the good things and build on to them in your own way. Just to give you an example, Zerodha launched Varsity. Okay, it was a brilliant platform. People were responding to it in a very brilliant fashion. So what we did, we said, okay, fine. If we have to build an education platform, एक platform already है, आप उससे क्या better दे दोगे? Building something for the sake of building is not right. So we said, okay, fine. What are the lack points here? First, it's only in textual format. So what we'll do, we will introduce video format, we'll introduce podcast also. Secondly, it's only in one language. We will use multiple languages also. So those kind of changes and upgrades we did.
So that is where Delta 4 model comes in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I said, always have that data insight ready. That regional conversation, different platforms, the different formats. So yeah, but we won't make Zerodha irrelevant.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Hi, sir. My question is pretty simple, and I guess.
Sorry, I didn't get your name.
So my name is Mehul.
Mehul, yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, so people have stopped trusting all the influencers, right? There's a
That you
this
are saying,
recent.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, yeah. So there, I've seen this recent.
I still engage and meet a lot of them, so I don't
Okay.
want to. Yeah.
May I?
Yeah, please, please.
So I've seen this shift
Ah.
where there are 10 influencers promoting the same product but from 10 different companies.
Ah.
So people have stopped trusting them because they don't know who to trust now.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how, as a marketeer, you think what's the next step forward, taking in the influencer marketing or the marketing as a whole in the content space?
Bro, I just show that, you know.
No. What's the next step?
I just,
What's
that's
the
the
next
next
idea?
step. That you don't build and work with those kind of influencer which are already established. वो गन्ने का जूस निकल चुका है. अब आपको नई फसल उगानी है ना?
Okay, so if I talk on facts, then there are influences like Rusty and then Prakhar, all that, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So they are not established as of yet to the level that
Right,
BBK
right.
wines are. People are
See-
working with them and people are not even trusting them. So
See,
like what's
you
the
know,
news?
see, Mehul, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Mehul, it's not the question of trusting or not trusting, you know. I won't take the credit away from this influencer that yes, they have actually made people aware about, you know, different things which probably initially, let's say if someone like Rachna Ranade, the way she has decoded the entire financial ecosystem is brilliant, okay. Probably now things have been commercialized a lot more. So what you do, you take everything with a pinch of salt, okay. It's not a question of whether you trust them or you don't trust them. Point is, you take everything they say with a pinch of salt and do your own research also, which is why I also spoke about in product strategy, because see, when a product guy is building a product, he's just thinking of, you know, अच्छा मुझे ये बनाना है और ये product deliver करना है. But when a marketeer is thinking of a product, he is thinking of the pain points of a customer, okay? Which is why the idea is brands should themselves build that ecosystem that whenever you learn about something from an influencer, you come to the platform, do some basic things, understand if this is something you need, if yes, this is catering to your needs, please buy it, go for it, register it, whatever you do. If you think no, then move out. But influencers, obviously, it's not a trust, it's just a very glorified way of marketing your product. Now, probably if I can use, I can say that. So yeah, trust them, but with a pinch of salt. Will
Alright,
use something
thank you.
which I'll say. Anyone else? Yeah.
Thanks, Vishesh. This is a fantastic presentation.
Thank you so
I am
much.
Nivedita from healthcare.
Yeah,
So
Nivedita.
we are, I think we are still into the entire complete digitalization and we are into digitalization per se.
To some extent, yes.
To some
yes,
extent.
yes.
So in this, as a third person or a person from a fintech, what do you feel, what is that when it comes to a combination, which are the best digital avenues to look at it?
For healthcare
It's
sector?
a B2B business.
Acha, for healthcare sector?
Yes.
Okay. So healthcare, you know, I can think of one company, Impact Guru. If you know, they're not exactly in healthcare, but probably in same
Hybrids.
same zone. So I spoke to one of the co-founders some time back, and we were precisely talking about this problem. That what are the kind of especially in a B2B setup, you know, what are the kind of digital platforms you can use. See, Nivedita, you know, sometime back, in fact, I'm not sure if you've seen, Zoho is a tech platform. They have put hell lot of hoardings on this Western Expressway.
Yes.
And I put a post on LinkedIn also praising the same, whosoever has come up with that strategy. Because even in a B2B space, the guy who's sitting on the other side of a table is a human being. He is consuming the same content, he is in that same ecosystem. He is on YouTube also, he is on Insta also probably, on LinkedIn also. However, the platform won't change. What you convey, the messaging would change. What you convey, the tonality or the actual meat would change. I'll give you an example. So there's this company, CleanMax, you can sit. there's this company CleanMax Solar, okay, one of the largest rooftop solar solution providers in India. And I was mandated to do the initial branding for them. This I'm talking about 2016. Okay, when I met Kuldeep is the founder, ex-brilliant guy, ex-McKinsey partner. I asked him, what's your biggest problem? He said, Vishesh, my biggest problem is people don't call me for tenders because they're not aware about my brand. This is important for all of you also because probably a lot of you will work in a B2B setup. So we said, okay, fine. Let's build that credibility, that awareness first. How do we do that? Then we did not create a lot of, these typical things which I spoke about. We realized that they're working with the Alchem Labs, they're working with Tata's, Mahindra's, Manipal Group. So we created those case studies, okay? Built those case studies and distributed those case studies. We did not create an influencer video. We did not create a social media post. We created a PDF of how a solar plant was installed at Alchem Lab in Ankleshwar. And we distributed it on the relevant platform. Probably LinkedIn we used a lot more than other platforms. YouTube we also use, keeping the audience set in mind. So the formats will change, the messaging will change, but probably the platform will remain more or less the same, is if I am able to answer your question. Okay, thanks. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
So I am Shubham from third year.
Good afternoon.
So, sir, I wanted to know that now that you've worked in fintech, which is I think one of the most difficult industries to gain trust, and
I like that. Okay.
yes, sir. So, what do you think is like an advice for us, for the new people who are going to enter the industry, for building new brands? How do we gain trust of the consumers, considering there's so much clutter around, so many brands are there?
So, Shubham, right?
Yes, sir.
Shubham, I started my journey with the financial world in 2011 with Dalal Street, okay? And from that point to now, okay, I have always harped on the fact that we need to be transparent, we need to be ethical, and we need to be genuine to our consumer set. पता है क्या? I'll give you an example. मेरे टीम में ना बहुत लोग हैं जो क्रिप करते रहते हैं, यार कंप्लायंस का बड़ा इशू होता है, कुछ भी क्रिएटिव बनाओ. So इनफैक्ट मैंने सेबी से 6 लाख रुपए का पेनल्टी भी झेला था बिकॉज वन ऑफ माई टीममेट एक्चुअली पुट आउट अ पोस्ट ऑन फेसबुक अबाउट ऋतिक रोशन एंड आप इन्फ्लुएंसर्स जो टीवी पे हैं उनको यूज़ नहीं कर सकते. तो I was called to SEBI office in and they applied a penalty of 6 lakhs. So the point is, and she cribbed about this thing like कि हमें क्यों बोल रहे हैं. But the point is, see, understand, जो बंदा सामने है, जो कंज्यूमर है, वो आपके से कोई लिपस्टिक नहीं खरीद रहा है, वो आपसे शू नहीं खरीद रहा है कि अगर वो खराब हो गया शू तो बस ठीक है फेंक दो. He is actually thinking of buying a house probably. He is actually thinking of investing for a long term कि यार मैं आगे मास्टर्स कर लूँगा या probably I'll build my down payment for a house. So as long as you are honest, probably you may not know 10 things, you may not be able to deliver returns कि यार आपने ये स्टॉक लिया तो आप उसको बना ही दोगे हीरो उसको. But as long as you are keeping it very straight, sharp and very, very truthful, your messaging, everything else will be sorted out and people will start trusting you. Earlier, people used to invest more in FDs as compared to equity market. But slowly the trend is changing. In fact, that's another thing I want to talk about. If you want to enter stock market, पहले क्या होता था, बड़ा FD versus होता था, ठीक है? Gold versus equity. I said यार आपको ये versus क्यों करना है? Diversification तो everyone talks about ना in as far as investment are concerned. तो एक तरफ आप बोल रहे हो कि you need to have a diversified portfolio. दूसरी तरफ अगर वो अपने 10 रुपए का 2 रुपए FD में डाल रहा है तो आप बोल रहे हैं नहीं उसमें मत डाल इसमें डाल. Versus मत करो उसको. Don't work with a crab mentality कि आपको सिर्फ 5% मिलेगा FD में, यहाँ पे 10% हम देंगे. Don't pull the other thing down. Boss, you want to invest 10 rupees, it's okay, you 6 रुपये आप उसमें डाल दो, 4 रुपये आप इक्विटी में डालो, no worries. But that's what I'm going to promise. I'm not going to promise anything false to my customer. That's the key to enter the stock market. बाकी तो slowly you learn.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Mr.
Thanks.
Sharma. Can we hear it from Mr. Sharma, please, guys?
Thank you so much.